pedophile at the Home Office. He boasted of storing pi files where police would never discover them. 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗶𝗁𝗶𝗴𝗲, 8th of July 2014, updated 12:39 BST, 11th of July 2014. By Sam Marsden for Mail Online. Stephen Smith worked as contractor monitoring security alarms at Whitehall. 60-year-old said he was given security clearance for the job by Scotland Yard. At the time, Smith was the chairman of the Paedophile Information Exchange. Went on the run while facing charges over child abuse images before being jailed in 1991 and again in 2011. The former leader of a pro-pedophile campaign boasted of storing the group's files in the Home Office while he worked there. Stephen Smith, 60, said he was given security clearance for his Whitehall job by Scotland Yard despite being chairman of the Paedophile Information Exchange. He worked as an electrical contractor monitoring security alarms at the Home Office for 4 years in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Smith later went on the run while facing charges over child abuse images. He was jailed in 1991 and again in 2011. In an obscure book published in 1986, he told how he was given a room of his own at the Home Office and used it to conceal 𝗆's files. For 4 years I was employed by a firm of electrical contractors, complete maintenance, to monitor a control panel of alarm systems at the Home Office, he said. The job entailed practically no work on my part, beyond attending the panel, and in fact I had a furnished office completely to myself 7 days a week on a rotating shift basis. Much of 𝗆's less sensitive file material was stored in locked cabinets there, where no police raid would ever have found them. Each year my security clearance was renewed by Scotland Yard without my connection with 𝗆 being discovered. He claimed he used a phone number in the Home Office building as a contact point for 𝗆. A later trial heard that he probably published an obscene magazine from inside the ministry. Smith, also known as Stephen Freeman, lost his job when his role in 𝗆 was exposed by a newspaper in 1982. He said he had hoped the revelation that the leader of a pedophile group had been employed in the heart of Westminster would lead to the resignation of then Home Secretary 𝗖𝘆𝗰𝗍𝗍𝗏. But no heads rolled, and it appears that there was only a limited official investigation into his role at the department. The extent of security chief's knowledge of my activities did not prompt them to investigate the content of my filing cabinets, and a carload of 𝗆 files was safely spirited from the building before it could occur to them to intervene, he wrote. A second senior 𝗆 official, the group's secretary and treasurer Barry Cutler, is also said to have worked at the Home Office in the early 1980s. In 1983, it was reported that a Home Office civil servant had received a series of slides with images of abuse of young boys and obscene letters delivered to his departmental address. One colleague protested that the material should be handed over to the police, but this was ignored and it was treated as a purely internal matter, according to a Daily Express report at the time. Smith fled to Holland in 1984 to escape trial after 𝗆 was infiltrated by headmaster and anti-child abuse campaigner Charles Oxley. Smith claimed political asylum by arguing that he was part of a minority political group campaigning for changes in the law in the UK. He returned to Britain in 1991 in the mistaken belief he would not be arrested and was jailed at the Old Bailey for 18 months after he admitted publishing an obscene magazine and sending it through the post. In 2011 he received another prison sentence of at least 30 months as ringleader of a pedophile group that distributed drawings depicting child abuse. Tom O'Carroll, another former 𝗆 chairman, wrote a book defending having sex with children called Paedophilia, The Radical Case. He shared a platform with Labour ex-Health Secretary Patricia Hewitt at a gay rights conference in 1977. But was jailed for 2 years in 1981 for conspiring to corrupt public morals. Mr. O'Carroll has asked us to make clear that an earlier version of this article stated that he was jailed in 1981 for possessing indecent pictures. In fact, the conviction was for conspiracy to corrupt public morals. We are happy to set the record straight.